My name's Andrew, and today we are going to be making a terrarium. A terrarium is an ecosystem that is in a contained area, like a jar. A lot like an aquarium is an ecosystem of water, a terrarium is an ecosystem of plants. To make a terrarium, we're going to need a variety of different materials. The first and most obvious material that we're going to need is a jar. I have a glass jar here. You could also use a plastic one. It's important that you are able to see through it easily and that it has a large opening that you are able to stick your hand into. Some terrariums do not have airtight containers. For the type we are going to be making, you need to make sure that your container can seal up and be airtight. The next material that you'll need is some sort of coarse gravel or small pebbles. If you'd like, you could also use aquarium glass. The next material that you're going to need is some sort of screen or netting. If you'd like, a coarse fabric such as burlap would also work very well. An optional material that you can use is activated carbon charcoal. This will help with filtering the water. However, if you do not have any activated charcoal, you don't need to worry about this step. The next material that you're going to need is topsoil. I highly recommend not using potting soil for this. The reason being that topsoil has a lot of organic matter in it. You can see here there are lots of pieces of sticks, dried up leaves. This is just soil that I got straight from the ground. The next thing that we're going to need is, of course, our plants. Now, you don't want to select just any plant for this. You want a hardy plant that's going to be okay with being transplanted and that's not going to grow too large. We only have the room that's available in our jar after all. Great plants to use are viney plants such as ivies, grass, or if you're just beginning, an awesome material to use would be moss. Something else that is optional to have in your terrarium are small objects that you think would add to the aesthetic, such as small sticks or rocks. Moving your plants around in your terrarium can be very difficult, so for that I recommend having some tools to help you move your plants around. Here I have some chopsticks and a spoon that should be very useful. You're also going to have to water your plants. I find that having a spray bottle filled with water is very convenient for this. The last thing that you're going to need is either a paper towel or cotton balls to help you clean up any excess water. The first thing that you're going to want to do is add your loose gravel or pebbles to the bottom. The reason that we're adding this is to assist with the drainage of any water that's in your terrarium. Just like too little water can kill a plant, too much water can cause root rot and kill the plant as well. So by adding this gravel to the bottom, we're going to make sure that any excess water can drain down. The next thing that you're going to want to do is add your screen or netting on top of your gravel. The reason why we're doing this is it creates what's called a false bottom. It's going to allow any water to soak through the netting while still maintaining a separation between your gravel and your soil. For the next step, if you choose to add activated charcoal to your terrarium, now's the time to do that. The charcoal acts as a filter and will help keep the water clean. Next, we're going to add our topsoil to the terrarium. This is a good chance to do any landscaping that you like. So if you want something like a hill, or if you want it to be completely flat and even, you can mold the ground to do whatever it is you like. Next, we're going to add any rocks, sticks, or aesthetic elements that you have that you'd like to put into your terrarium. Next, we're going to want to add our plants to the terrarium. Now, for this, you're very likely going to have to add more soil to make sure the roots are as buried as possible. Finally, we're going to want to water our plants. Now, how much water you add is going to depend on the size of your terrarium. For this, I'm going to add about a half a cup of water. Once you've watered your terrarium, take a quick look around and make sure everything is as you'd like it. If it is, you can seal it up. Keep an eye on your terrarium during the first 2 weeks or so. At certain times of the day, especially in the morning, you should see that there will be a lot of condensation on the inside of the glass or plastic. This is normal, don't worry about it. However, if there's condensation constantly throughout the day, open your terrarium up and let the humidity even out a little bit. It means that there's too much water in your terrarium. This can be a problem because it might result in mold growing on the inside of your terrarium, which you definitely don't want. On the other hand, if you never see any condensation, or if your plants look dried or wilted, it means that there's too little water and humidity inside your terrarium. Add a little bit more and keep monitoring it. Overall, as your terrarium grows, you might notice that some plants die while other plants thrive. That's okay, and it's natural for it to happen inside a terrarium. Keep an eye on it and add water or take water out as you see fit. If you ever need to clean the inside of a terrarium, use chopsticks and cotton balls or paper towel to mop up the inside of the glass. I hope you've had fun today. I hope you've learned a lot. And as always, enjoy nature.